Hello, ELA Masters. It's Miss Yabut here. Great work on Google Classroom this week, my friends. Just a couple reminders. First, don't forget, if you haven't already this morning, to go on Lexia for 30 minutes. By the end of tomorrow, you need to have made sure you've done at least 150 minutes of Lexia this week. So if you need to catch up on minutes, don't forget to work on this after you're done with this assignment. And tomorrow we are going to be having our Point of View Illuminate quiz. You've all been working so hard on your STORY planners and finding the point of view and character perspective in the stories, and I can't wait to see you show your hard work and earn Vista Virtual Points for earning 100% and taking your time. Finally, we have office hours again today from 2:30 to 4. So make sure that you go and get some help on your homework so you can earn 3 more Vista Virtual points. Say, I want that. Great. Friends, today we are going to continue talking about point of view. And it's important that as good readers, we think of point of view because I need to always ask myself, how does the narrator's point of view, the one who's telling the story, how does the narrator's point of view affect the story and how I understand it? Scholars, do you remember what are the 2 types of point of view that we've been learning about this week? Yes! If you said first person point of view and third person point of view, give me a high five. We know that we can use our resource under classwork if we need a refresher. So I'm going to click on point of view, then my document. We learned about first person point of view, which means the character is in the story, and third person point of view. The narrator is on the outside. So after I decide what point of view, I ask myself, whose point of view is it? If it's a character in the story for first person, which character is it? Which character is using I or we? If it's third person point of view, I need to ask myself, what does the outside narrator think about the other characters? Are they using he or she or the characters' names? Remember, scholars, that after we identify the point of view, it's also important to make sure we ask ourselves, what is the narrator's perspective? Can you tell it with me? Perspective is the way one character thinks or feels about another character or situation. One more time. Perspective is the way one thinks or feels about another character or situation. Your turn. Perspective is the way. Good. Today, we are going to be paying very close attention again to the characters in the stories. And we need to be thinking all about their perspective as well as their traits and motivation. Let's review point of view. Scholars, let's take a couple of seconds to read this excerpt. Is this first person point of view and third person point of view? How do you know? Ready and go. Get those hands ready. Show me a 1 for first person or a 3 for third person. And 2 thumps, 1, 2. If you showed me third person, give me a high five. Yes, this author, Mark Twain, this is one of my favorite books, friends, use only the characters' names, Tom and Sid, and the pronouns they or their to refer to them. So easy peasy. Let's see if you can get this next one. Take a few seconds to read through this text and ask yourself, is this first person point of view or third person point of view? I already see some of you showing me your fingers. Get ready. And 2 thumps, 1, 2. If you showed me a 1 for first person, give me a pound it. Right, this is first person point of view. I know because I see only the pronouns I, me, or we, which tells me that the narrator who's telling the story is a character in the story. It is not an outside narrator like my last text that we read. Here, I know that there's an outside narrator because they're only using character names. But in this second text, me, I, and we tell me that a character is telling me this story. If you got both of those, give yourselves a pat on the back. Great. Scholars, let's review our story from yesterday. Can you remember what was the point of view of lost and found? Show me your fingers. Yes, it was third person point of view. I know because it used Mark's names and his dad's names and Jerry's names. But the narrator never said I, me, or we. So I know that the narrator was watching from the outside. It was third person point of view. ELA Masters, there was a tricky question on our exit ticket yesterday, and we're going to go over it. Remember from yesterday that we went over part A of number 2 together. What word best describes how Mark feels after his father tells him how Cleo escaped? And we said that Mark felt sorry when he realized that happened. Now, in my planners, I highlighted in my text evidence when he looked down at the ground and was telling his dad it would never happen again. Now, for part B, I needed to find which excerpt or which piece of evidence from the passage best supported that answer, that Mark felt sorry. So I need to ask myself, does this show that he felt sorry? Does this show that he felt sorry? Let's look at answer A. He threw his arms around his dog's neck. Oh, Cleo! Does that action show that Mark is sorry? Scholars, no. That action shows that Mark was actually probably really happy to see Cleo, but it doesn't show that he's sorry or upset with himself. It just shows that he's very joyful. This was from a different part in the text when we found out that Mark was able to get Cleo back after all. This is not talking about that same part in the story when he found out from his dad how Cleo escaped. So this is not relevant. Let's check letter B. Mark's father was not as cheerful. This is tricky, friends. So this is now talking about the correct part in the text because I'm talking about how Mark feels after his father tells him Cleo escaped. But scholars, this question is asking about Mark. It's not asking about his father's feelings. It's asking about Mark's feelings. So I need to pick a piece of evidence that shows Mark's thoughts, actions, feelings, or dialogue in my evidence. Let's double check letter B again. Mark's father was not as cheerful. Does this describe how Mark is sorry? No. This is also not relevant, ELA Masters. This is giving evidence for Dad, but my question was about Mark. I need to make sure that that piece of evidence supports what Mark's thoughts and actions was. C. Mark, do you want to know where I found Cleo? What do we think? Right. Again, this is not relevant because this is Dad's dialogue, scholars. Again, we need to be finding evidence of Mark's thoughts, actions or dialogue, not Dad's. I want to know, does this show that Mark is sorry? It might show that Dad is a little disappointed in Mark, who is sorry, but it's not telling me that Mark is sorry. D. Mark just looked down at his feet. Does this show me that Mark is sorry? Yes, scholars. I don't know about you, but how many of you guys have tried to avoid eye contact with your teacher or your parents because you were sorry about what happened? Right. Mark's actions show that he is sorry. So the correct answer was letter D. ELA Masters, now let's go to our Google form. By now, I know that you are all incredible experts. What is first person point of view and what is third person point of view? You have about 45 seconds to see if you can answer that on your own. Get ready and go. Are some of you already done? Whoa. Really? More of you are finished? Scholars, it looks like this question was so easy that I might have to stop my timer early. Wow, great work, my friends. What is first person point of view? Is it the narrator's a character and uses I, or the narrator is not a character in the story and is watching from the outside? Show me. Yes, first person point of view is when the narrator is a character in the story. We know that from our resource. So that means that third person point of view is when the narrator is not a character in the story, but is watching what is happening from the outside. Yes. In third person point of view, the narrator is an outside narrator. If you need to, double check your questions and then click next.